Hello, good morning and welcome to the class. So today we are going to deal with the textbook questions. We are going to discuss textbook questions and the topic is nutrition. So let us see the first question, why diffusion is insufficient to meet oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like humans. So in unicellular organisms, a single cell performs all the life activities like respiration, movement, nutrition, excretion, everything. But in humans, where some trillions of cells are present, it is not possible for each cell to get oxygen directly from the environment. That is why there is necessity for the formation of different organs which form an organ system, which is called as a respiratory system, by means of which all the cells get oxygen and eliminate carbon dioxide. So that should be the answer. And I have already told you your answer should depend on the marks, how many marks it carries. Okay. So that is the thing. It means unlike unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms develop various organs and organ systems for the intake of oxygen and supply of oxygen to all the cells in the body and elimination of carbon dioxide from all the cells in the body. So that organ system is called respiratory system. Okay. And what criteria do we to decide whether something is alive? So if we have to make out that something is alive, so it exhibits certain characteristic features. So what are they? That means the organism will respond to the external environment, to the stimulus to the external environment. It grows, it shows growth and development, respiration, transportation, and all these things can be observed, excretion, all these certain life processes. So that means what we can see, what are the criteria means growth and development, process of respiration, responding to the environment, and the process of excretion we can see, and we can decide that this particular thing is alive. Whereas a non-living thing, it does not show any such criteria, characteristic features. Okay. Next, what outside raw materials used for by an organism? So if we take plants utilize inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water. They get light from the sun and water and minerals from the soil. That is the thing. And heterotrophs, herbivores, that is plants synthesize their own food, and herbivores they eat the plants and they get their food, and carnivores they get their food by eating other animals. So that is how the raw materials used by an organism. That means a plant, a herbivore, a carnivore. And if you see saprophytes, they get their food by eating, by decomposing the dead parts of plants and animals. Next, what processes would you consider essential for maintaining life? So, what processes are important? That means for an organism to be alive, it should respond to the external environment. It should show it should respire, and it must be able to get its own food, and respiration should be there. All these things, all these processes, nutrition should be there, respiration should be there, growth and development should be there, and responding to the external environment should be there. All these are very much essential for maintaining life. That is another question. What are the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? So, which is already discussed. Autotrophic nutrition, that means where the organisms synthesize their own food by utilizing inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of light, taking in carbon dioxide and releasing out oxygen. So that is autotrophic nutrition. Example, green plants or blue-green algae, photosynthetic bacteria, etc. And heterotrophic nutrition means the organisms which cannot synthesize their own food, they depend on plants directly or indirectly. So the organisms which depend on plants are called herbivores. So example, cow, sheep, goat, etc. And carnivorous animals means which eat plants by then they get their food. That is lion, wolf, like that, tiger, etc. That means when the differences are asked, you have to draw in the form of a table. That means autotroph, heterotroph, and a line must be drawn. That is autotrophs and heterotrophs. and you have to draw a line, and you have to draw point 1, 2, 3, like that. And the point should be, that means where you are writing autotrophic nutrition, the relevant point should be there in the heterotrophic nutrition. That is how you have to clearly mention the differences. Okay, that is one thing. Next, where do plants get each of raw materials required for photosynthesis? Again, this is somewhat a repetition. So plants get raw materials for required for photosynthesis. Plants get carbon dioxide from the air. Chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast, and they get water and minerals from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air. So all these are essential. They get raw materials: sunlight, chlorophyll pigment, carbon dioxide, and water and minerals. All these are water and minerals are obtained from the soil. They are transported from soil to the leaf through xylem. And chlorophyll pigment is present in the chloroplast. So they get light from the sunlight. So all these are carbon dioxide from the air. So that is how the plants get raw materials required for photosynthesis. What is the role of acid in the stomach? So stomach produces gastric juice. So this gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid, HCl, and pepsin. And this hydrochloric acid creates acidic medium which activates pepsin, which helps in the digestion of proteins. And another important function of this acid is it kills harmful bacteria which are present in the food. So that is the role of acid. What is the function of digestive enzymes? So enzymes are called biological catalysts. Biological catalyst means so they speed up, accelerate the chemical reactions that are taking place in the body, and they help these enzymes. They convert complex food materials into simple substances. That means they help in the conversion of carbohydrates to glucose, proteins to amino acids, fats to fatty acids, and glycerol. So in this way, digestive enzymes, which are also called as biological catalysts, help in the process of digestion by converting complex food materials into simple substances. And how is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? So in the alimentary canal or digestive system, small intestine is the longest part of the longest part. That means it extends about 9 meters, and it is present in the coiled form. 9 meters is very long, and it is present in the coiled form. And in the small intestine, finger-like projections are present, which are called villi, which are richly supplied with blood vessels. So, in the process of digestion, complete digestion of food will take place in the small intestine, and the digested food are absorbed by the villi, which are richly supplied with blood vessels, and these blood vessels absorb, and these digested food materials are supplied to all the cells in the body. That is, the process is called assimilation. That means the digested food is supplied to all organs, tissues, cells in the body. So that is the importance of complete digestion and absorption of food materials will take place in the small intestine. Next one, what is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? So again, saliva, that means when the food is taken in, the salivary glands which are present in the mouth. So 3 pairs of salivary glands. I have already told you 3 pairs of salivary glands. So these 3 pairs of salivary glands, parotid gland, submaxillary gland, and sublingual gland. 3 pairs of glands are present. These salivary glands produce saliva. This saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin. Ptyalin, or it is also called as a salivary amylase, which acts on carbohydrates, and so the saliva is alkaline in its nature. So for the digestion of carbohydrates, alkaline nature should be there. So that is why carbohydrates get digested to dextrose, and partial digestion of food will take place, and this partially digested food in the mouth due to the action of saliva is called bolus. So in this way, saliva, with the help of the enzyme, that is ptyalin or salivary amylase, helps in the digestion of carbohydrates. So these are some of the textbook questions that are given, and next we shall deal with some other questions in the next class. Hope you have understood. That means you have to give the answers in point wise, point 1, point 2, point 3, like that. So try to understand and try to explain your answers in very simple sentences. And one more thing I want to say is when you finish off a question, leave some gap between one question and another question so that it will be clear. That means in the margin you have to mention the question number clearly and you have to give the answers. Leave some gap between one question and another question. So it helps you. Suppose if you forget any point, important point, right? So you can add it. So that is another advantage, and it will be useful for the examiner to correct the questions. Okay. So that is how you have to answer point wise, point 1, point 2. Remember that you have to give the answers depending upon the marks which are allotted to that particular question. Okay, hope you have understood, and let us continue with some other questions and discuss in the class. Okay, thank you.